to 5. How will you touch? Okay, if you have but to make hey Bossa, thank you guy. Let's keep sounding. The sounds
doing, I'll grow too. Huge mistake. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Never do it. Trying to copy what successful creators are doing right now is like trying to run a marathon without learning how to walk first, you know? It just doesn't work. The reason is that big creators are playing a completely different game than someone who's just trying to start and grow their channel. For example, like on this channel, my current goal is not really to grow or get more like subscribers anymore. The main focus is really on building the business and scaling the business outside of my YouTube channel. So I don't really care how much we grow in terms of subscribers. So what do you need to do if you're trying to grow your channel, right? Here's what you actually need to focus on when you're just starting out. And trust me, it's actually not what you think. Because before you even touch a camera or think about buying a gear, you need to exactly know who you are on YouTube and why anyone should care about what you have to say. Because even though it sounds like a little sad, at the beginning no one cares about us. I know this sounds basic, but this is exactly why I think I failed in the first 4 years of my YouTube career, because I was so focused on trying to copy other creators that I forgot to figure out what made me different. If you want to avoid doing this mistake, it actually comes down to 2 simple questions that you need to answer. First, what makes you different? This isn't about like having a mind-blown skill or having a very unique competitive edge or anything. It's basically about your background, your experiences, and your personality. It's just those elements that make you you, you know? So let's say if you're a student who figured out how to get A's straight while, I don't know, doing something different, maybe having a hobby aside, you can teach about it on YouTube. Or maybe you are a mom who is really good at time management while raising their kids, which is something that most people struggle with, you know? Whatever it is, that is your starting point. Second, why should people care? This is crucial. Like, we have to be very clear. Are you solving a problem? Or are you offering insight nobody else is talking about in a specific industry? Or maybe you have a unique humor that make people laugh in your own unique way. So to figure that out, what makes you unique, aka your unique selling point, USP, try to write a 1-sentence mission statement. 1-sentence mission statement is basically like this: I help specific audience achieve specific result by specific method or value. So for example, mine is I help ambitious individuals overcome self-doubt and achieve their goals by teaching techniques to make time for what truly matters. I empower my audience to live a fulfilling life while improving every day. This is my mission statement. And your mission statement doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning because it can change over time, but you just need a clear starting point, because this is essentially what is going to guide you every single video you make. I know figuring out this can be tricky when you're just starting, so I created a free mini guide to help you discover your USP. You can check it out in the description below. It's completely free. Now that you figured out what makes you unique, let's talk about turning that into actual content that grows your channel. Here's another big mistake I see beginners make. They start by making content about themselves. But here's the truth. When you're just starting out, nobody actually is searching for you, you know, because nobody knows you and nobody cares about a day in my life yet, because they don't know. Like, why would I care about it? So what are they searching for? They are searching solutions to their problems. Because think about it, which video would you click on? My daily workout routine from someone that you have absolutely no idea, or how to lose weight without the gym, or a productive day in my life from someone you don't know, or how I built a side hustle without quitting my 9 to 5. One is about you, the other is solving your viewers' problems. By focusing on solution people actively search for, you will naturally attract viewers who see you as a helpful resource. Over time, as you build an audience and your credibility, you can expand into other content types like storytelling, emotional connection, or more inspirational and more personal content. Here's my exact process for coming up with problem-solving video ideas. I basically spend 1 hour every week at a cafe brainstorming. First, I list everything I accomplished, like mental, physical, academic, professional, anything I figured out that can help others. Then I break these into major areas and think about all the problems beginners face. And I also reflect and try to remember what was I struggling with, what questions did I have at the beginning. For example, when I started this channel, I did this with language learning, because I was really good at language learning, and I did this without spending a lot of money onto it. So I basically first started with something that I'm good at and a problem that I solved. Learning languages at your home without having a tutor or without going to a language school, and also making the process fun. That was something like a problem that I solved in my own experience and that I was really good at. So I started making videos about it, and then my channel blew up because the reason is that I solved a specific problem in my life and I was providing free value to people. Those kind of videos allowed me to establish myself an authority in a specific niche, language learning. And from there, I basically expanded into other kind of content. And it's not only language learning. For example, also ADHD. I have ADHD and I've been struggling with it for a very long time. So I basically built systems and also methods that I can manage my procrastination brain much better. And I was sharing it online. And a lot of people found it helpful, and that allowed me to establish that trust that now I can talk about any kind of topic that I want as long as it's valuable to my audience. So now you might be thinking, what if I haven't figured out anything yet? What if I don't have any credibility or experience in something? And that's actually completely okay too. Instead of trying to teach people, I would become what I call a human guinea pig. So you pick 3 to 5 areas that you want to improve, and you learn from books, experts, and try different methods and share what works and what doesn't work. You basically test everything that you learn, and you share what you learned from those reliable sources out there. For example, I did this in my video about marshmallow test. Like, I haven't conducted a research about willpower or anything like that. I read a book, I learned something, I tested on myself, and then I synthesized it and shared it with the world. That's usually how I make my videos. This works because you're either teaching from direct experience or alongside your audience, right? And both are really valuable and powerful on YouTube, because the reason is that people connect with like real struggles more than perfect highlight reels. If somebody really wanted to only learn the language, now you can just like ask an AI to teach you something, right? But people prefer learning from humans because they understand what you went through. When you're working with just 1 hour a day, don't waste time trying to make your videos perfect. Okay, you should focus on the value you're delivering to your audience, not how polished your video looks. Here's what I would to streamline my process and produce great content effectively. Editing is often the most time-consuming part of content creation, so focus on cutting out the fluff and making your videos digestible. Here's how to apply the 80-20 rule when it comes to editing. First, film your A-roll, main talking points, and for example, this is an A-roll, right? The shot that I'm currently making is an A-roll. And after filming your A-roll, upload your footage to Gling AI because it will give you a cleaned up version in a few minutes. It can automatically detect ums and ohms and also the parts that you repeated yourself, and you can delete that easily. The AI will also transcribe your video, and by just going through the transcription that you have, you can easily remove unnecessary sections because reading is...
Let's check video. 7 days. Oh my god, it's 7K.
This is not going to be another one of those videos where somebody talks to you about thumbnails and click-through rates and all the same jargon you're used to hearing on every single video like this. In fact, I'm going to tell you the truth about how big creators actually achieve success and the things that I learned from a $15,000 YouTube coaching program that I'm literally going to spill in this video for free. So if that's what you're ready for, to understand the secrets that are separating those who are literally blowing up on YouTube, like I am doing right now with 7,000 subscribers in literally 7 days, and being able to get to there to millions, then the principles that I share with you in this video are exactly what you have been missing. So hit the thumbs up button if you're super excited and ready for me to get into the details. The first of the 4 steps that I want to share with you today that are the unconventional things that people don't really talk about.
He said title say, "Hi, I got 7K subscribed in 7 days. Do this actual growing on your
happen behind the scenes
Okay.
is to understand who you're making a video for. And so if you want to grow on YouTube, even the videos that seem like they're the most random, but they do really well, it is specifically because they understand who they're making the video to. Even something that seems as random as Mr. Beast content or an ASMR channel, they understand that they are making a video for someone who is watching their video for a particular reason. And so you have to go into thinking about how you're creating content, not as a creator or an artist, but you have to think of it as a servant, as a business owner, as somebody who is helping someone else solve their problem.
I think that's probably for new contacts. When he starts, he looked like easy. You understand? He didn't think far. He think only when I open my account, it's very easy to get. No, it's not easy. You just look. You just when you open your account, you think this is my business. This my business. It's not only just what the meaning. Just any play like I open to play, just play. No, if you play, you never get anything. You think this is my business.
And even if your video isn't how to do X, Y, and Z, even the person who's doing an ASMR channel is still helping the person who's watching it to solve their problem. Maybe they're listening to it to go to sleep. Maybe they're doing a mukbang because the person that they're eating with is lonely and they would like someone to eat with because they're normally by themselves. It doesn't matter what your niche is or who your customer or audience is. All that matters is that you understand them. You understand why they are there and why they would want to watch the video that you're putting up. And so you can't just think, what do I want to talk about today? You have to think, what does the person that I'm making this video for want and need to hear? And how do I put it into a package that is going to be the most well received by them? And so when you start viewing your YouTube channel as an opportunity to serve others and as an opportunity to solve their problems and to meet their needs, then of course they're going to come flocking to you. Just like you clicked on this video because you want to know how you can do the same thing in your own YouTube channel. And I am providing a service. I am telling you all the things that you need to know to do that. And so you thumbs up the video, you subscribe because you want to make money online and hear more about it. And that is the way that it goes with your channel too. So tap into that. And I promise you that when you start looking at it that way, it'll change everything. The second step, which is going to encompass all of that YouTube jargon that you hear into one, is simply understanding your market. Again, even if you're not necessarily selling a product, you are still in a market with your audience and you still have a group that your content is going to be classified under. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of homework, and I promise you though, it's going to be the best homework of your life because it's going to change everything when you implement it for your YouTube channel. I want you to compile a list of the most successful YouTube channels in your niche, and not from 15 years ago. Make sure that they are still having content that is performing really well within the last 2 years. And then I want you to just start studying them. Look at their thumbnails, look at their titles, look at the videos and listen to their hooks and what they're doing at the beginning of the videos. Take note of their editing style or their backdrops, everything about the video, their audio quality. And again, you're going to find some variance here. You don't necessarily need to be comparing someone level 20 with your level 1, but the things that are common denominators, that's what I want you to take note of. And I'm going to give you an extra little cheat code here. And that is to actually start writing down the titles of their top performing videos of the last 2 years and compile a document. Then you're just going to copy that and you're going to put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to point out all the similarities between those titles. And then you can even ask it to create a title formula or create 5 or 6 title formulas for you based on what is working well. And this is why this is the best option for this above any other advice you're going to get about titles and thumbnails and stuff, is because it's going to be so different depending on who your niche is and who your target audience is. And so if I give you advice that helps with the, kind of self-help, Christian business, financial improvement, like social media, the kind of realm that I'm in, that may not be true for the photography realm. Those things may not be true for the dog training realm or the interview realm. And so that's why you have to study the other people who are actually on you. And one of the biggest things to look at as well is not just things that you search up, but look at what's coming up with your recommended. Look at what videos are being recommended and that YouTube is actively pushing out, because that is the way that people are actually going viral, not by things that people can type in using something you may have heard of called SEO, search engine optimization, which is what a lot of people think that the gold is. But the gold on YouTube is having YouTube push out your videos itself. And that is how I was able to, one of the biggest reasons I was able to get 7,000 followers or subscribers in 1 week is because YouTube itself was promoting my video, because I followed those principles. I studied what was working well in my niche. And then I did step number 3. So step number 3 is to use the proven blueprint plus your authentic voice. This is truly the secret formula. And so what I mean by that is you have now gathered the blueprint by figuring out who your audience is and how you're going to help them, what problems you're going to help them solve. And you've also figured out what is the standard for your niche, for your industry, for the people who are creating in the same space as you, right? And now that you understand that, that should be your basis. But you shouldn't just be carbon copying titles or thumbnails or hooks. What you should be doing is understanding why they work, making sure you're infusing those same things into your videos, and then adding your own sparkle and sprinkle. And this is why I always tell my customers, there's no such thing as competition, there's only confirmation. And if you see that other people are doing the same thing, it just confirms that there is a market out there, that there are people who actually need help with that thing.
Thank
and
you, Daniels, for giving advice to small contacts. Small is a third. Alexa say small. I didn't go virus, but I made 12K a month. Any over. Let's check. Let's see. So you never know. Maybe you can get something.
20-year-olds are becoming millionaires, and it's not because they're smarter. It's not because they're any luckier than you. It's because they understand the game. And here's the truth. If they can do it, why not you? You can do this too. I lost my job a year and a half ago. I have small kids. My life is split between family and work. But even with all that, I have built a 5-figure monthly income with YouTube, only being on YouTube a year. And this is not to brag, but to provide proof to you that we are living in times that are incredible. They are filled with opportunities. If you are willing to take the risk, go for it, and show up and do the work. Because the game has changed, and anyone can play this game. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why you need to get in this game now, know you're not too late, and how you can start living the life of your dreams by getting on YouTube. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. The creator economy is already a $250 billion industry globally. And Goldman Sachs has projected that it's going to double and grow to almost $480 billion by the end of 2027. And Forbes has said the creator economy is reshaping how wealth is built, especially for everyday people without traditional platforms. So what does this mean? This isn't some trend. This is a permanent shift, a digital land rush. And guess what? You're not too late. In fact, you might even be early. You don't need to be 20. You don't need a massive following. You just need to start. And here's the caveat, stay in the game. Because so many people give up. And when they give up, your chance to rise higher increases. So let me briefly share my story to give evidence to you that this is possible. I started this channel, or restarted a dead channel, a year ago. I restarted this channel May 21st of last year after being laid off from my job that I had been doing for over a decade. I was scared and I had no backup plan, and I went all in on YouTube. So instead of panicking, I picked up a camera and I started filming myself and sharing my thoughts with the world. And I leaned into what I did have. I had my voice, I had my integrity, I had my confidence, and I knew that I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. And now I'm averaging, mind-blowingly to me, between 10 and 20K a month via YouTube, via generating leads into my business from YouTube. And get this, here's the crazy kicker. I am brand new to YouTube. I've been on YouTube a year, teaching others how to do YouTube, right? I taught people what I was learning through my channel, and I'm already making this much money. So you can come to YouTube and teach people what you are learning and grow your business that way. Because by the time now I'm a year in, I have learned a ton about YouTube and YouTube growth. But still, I'm not a guru or a master YouTuber. I have exponentially increased my knowledge, but I'm still nowhere near a YouTube guru. But I'm making a solid income from it. In fact, I'm making more money than I ever made in my life monthly previously. And here's another thing. I'm not even working at full capacity, you guys. I'm a mother of three young children. My oldest is 13. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, right? They come home middle of the day. I don't have full 8-hour workdays, right? Because I am at that point in my life. In Finland, we call the rush years, where you have young children. It is chaotic in my life, but I still am building a business. I'm building a content creator, full-time living with YouTube. So don't let being a mom, having a busy life, having a full-time job stop you. There is so much incredible opportunity out there right now, whether it's YouTube, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whatever platform you want to get on. I personally love YouTube, but if you have a platform that you gravitate towards, it doesn't need to be YouTube. By golly, like, get in on this, because here's the thing. The majority of the people that I attract to my channel are midlife and beyond, right? Because I'm midlife and beyond. I'm 46. We have so much knowledge, life experience, so much to give to other people and help them get from point A to point B, solve a problem for them, share our expertise. So why not jump? If 20-year-olds can do this with half the lifetime lived as you or me, or even more than half of the lifetime lived, why would we not take advantage of this? We are smart. We might be older, but we can figure it out, right? And it's not that much to figure out with YouTube. So if you have a few extra hours every day.
Thank you, Alexa, for your advice. And then now what is Alexa is good. Unique is what is this? He says stop posting constantly. My English I just want not a good advice. Is monetize? No. Base cheating? No. How content creator community?
Creating content completely changed my life in just 90 days. And I know that sounds absolutely insane, but in this video, I want to share with you the story of exactly how that happened. So in 2023, I started something I'd been thinking about for a very, very long time. And at that point, I had an Instagram account, but I wasn't posting my face. I was just posting, little Photoshop designs that I'd been making. And I remember I had this idea that was playing over and over in my head to start creating content and start getting in front of the camera. But I was just overthinking that first video so much, and I was getting so into my own head about how I was speaking and how I looked on camera. And I'm not even joking, I remember filming that first video about 10 times before I actually worked up the courage to finally post something. Because I'm naturally a huge introvert, and I always have been. So the idea of putting myself out there like that, it doesn't really come naturally to me. And on top of that, I had all these thoughts about, people that I've known in the past from my university or from back at school, that they would see the videos that I was posting and kind of think I was cringe or think it was weird. And it's so funny because looking back now, those, anxieties and those limiting beliefs, they seem so ridiculous in hindsight. But even though I had all this overthinking going on, I knew I had ideas and insights that I wanted to share with the world, and I guarantee that you can relate to that feeling. And that positive drive ended up being a much bigger and a much stronger motivator than all these negative thoughts that I was having. So eventually, I finally posted my first Instagram reel. And for me, it felt like this huge event. I'd finally overcome my fears and all my self-doubt, and the video got about 10 views. And then I posted another one, I think that got like 8 views. So I was actually going down. Now, of course, to put in all that work and to get nothing back was very demotivating at the time. But because I'd done all this overthinking and I'd gone so far down the YouTube rabbit hole when it comes to learning how to create content, I'd heard the same piece of advice over and over, and that was to be consistent. And I'm sure you've heard that advice a million times as well. So with that advice echoing in my mind, I decided to just keep going. And I remember I was posting to that account every single day without fail. And then on the side, I was learning about video editing and, the importance of the hook of the video and, getting confident speaking on camera and all that kind of stuff. And then absolutely out of nowhere, one of the videos I posted completely exploded to about 4 million views. And I cannot describe what that felt like because it literally happened overnight. So I remember going to bed and I had about maybe 1,000 followers before I went to bed. And then I woke up the next day, checked my phone, and I was on about 12,000 followers. Like I must have almost fallen out of the bed from shock. And there is no doubt about it that this experience completely changed my life. But I don't mean because of the followers or the views or the money or anything like that. My life changed because of the effect it had on my self-belief. And I've talked about this on the channel before, but I went through this long period of trying to make money online, and I tried every single method that you can think of. So I tried drop shipping, affiliate marketing, SMMA, I tried to start a clothing brand, literally everything you can think of. And I just failed over and over again at everything I tried. And then finally, after this long period of failure, something finally worked. And that really helped me, maybe even from a mental health perspective, because it helped me realize that maybe it's not me, maybe there's nothing wrong with me specifically, maybe I've just been doing the wrong things or using the wrong vehicle to get to where I want to go. But in all honesty, my life has changed in many other ways as well. I've had, incredible opportunities to work with companies like Adobe, and I've also been traveling around the world for the last 2 years straight at this point, which again has been absolutely life-changing and such an amazing experience. And the maddest thing is that none of this would have happened if I'd listened to that fear and all that self-doubt and all that overthinking that I was doing. Although having said that, looking back now almost 2 years later, there are definitely a few lessons that I wish I'd known when I was first getting started. And I think you'll find this really valuable if you're, just getting started, or maybe you're considering starting your own content creation journey. So the first lesson I would tell myself is that nobody cares about your videos, and that's actually a good thing. So because as humans, we are very naturally self-obsessed, we're very naturally self-centered. We think that everybody is watching and judging everything that we're doing. But that is so not true. Everybody else is way too worried about their own lives and their own problems. But what this means is that at the start, you have complete freedom to essentially be bad at creating content. You have this special period of time where you can experiment and learn your craft. And I think this is a really good way to reframe this, because you can look at this early stage where nobody is watching kind of as a gift. Because later on, when people do start watching, you'll be sharper, you'll be clearer, and you'll be so much more confident on camera. The second thing I would tell myself if I could go back in time would definitely be to start messy. So like I said, I filmed that first video that I was going to post to my Instagram about 10 times before I actually posted it. And that was such a waste of time. And what I learned from that is that you will never feel 100% ready. Like, it will always feel quite unnatural to start speaking to a camera if you've never done it before. And yes, your early videos are going to be awkward. Your editing is probably going to be terrible. You're probably going to cringe at how you look or how you speak. And in fact, I still think that now. Like, when I edit my videos, I'm like, oh, why do I sound like that? Like, why does my voice sound like that? But that's how it's supposed to feel. It is never going to feel completely natural in the beginning. But if you just get going and start building that momentum, I reckon you are probably ahead of 99% of people who want to be content creators, because that 99%, they never even get started in the first place. Okay, so the third and final tip that I would give myself if I could go back in time would be to adopt a student mindset. And I think you're going to find this one really interesting, because one of the biggest traps that I see new creators falling into is they're just following that same old advice that we've heard a million times, which is just to keep posting, be consistent, and eventually you'll make it. But unfortunately, that's not necessarily true. Because if you keep posting videos consistently, but nobody wants to watch them, you're never going to see results. Why would your channel grow in the first place? Because consistency does matter, of course, but it only matters when it's paired with constantly improving the content that you're posting. Now, here's the thing. Your confidence on camera is naturally going to improve over time, but you also need to adopt a student mindset when it comes to things like learning how to edit, or how to present and articulate your ideas, or even studying, content strategies like titles, thumbnails, branding, all that kind of stuff that you can see that is working for other creators. Because you've got to remember that wherever you are in your content journey, there is always more to learn and always more to study. So yeah, if you're going to be putting in all this effort to become consistent, you need to make sure that all that effort is also moving you forward as well. Okay, so what does the future look like for me now? So I absolutely love Wave Index, and I love the brand that I've built around my designs, but To be completely honest with you, I feel like I've hit a bit of a ceiling when it comes to, you know, that brand in particular. So with this brand new channel that you're watching right now, my goal is to essentially help people on that exact same journey with creating content and building a personal brand. Because I feel like I have all this experience with building a brand, building.
Georgie, thank you very much for advice. You are good, George. Let's go on posting. It's also into today posting. I'm not talking about Facebook, it's about YouTube. Where is? Don't have another dream. This no way. Why? How to grow YouTube in 25 party? Let's listen party to get some experience.
If you're a small creator under 10,000 subscribers, this video is for you. It's not just about algorithms or luck. It's about posting consistently without burning out, building audiences without feeling like you're compromising your morals and values, and creating content that you actually like, especially when the numbers start going up. So let's get right into the video. Step number 1 is to commit to consistency. So full disclaimer, at the time of me recording this video, I currently stand at 9,000 subscribers. So I'm just under that 10K mark, but it has been a long journey. I've had this specific YouTube channel for the last 3 years, but I just started posting consistently for the last 6 months. It really goes to show that length of time doesn't really matter if you show up consistently every single day. And that's kind of what we're gonna deep dive today about. For creators who aren't doing like crazy trends or clickbait or, you know, something that you got to keep up with, like, you know, you'll always have an idea because there's something that's always going on, like you're talking about the news or you're talking about something that's consistently being updated, so you're just bringing your opinion on it. For creators that kind of want to be in like a specific niche or in a few content buckets, maybe you don't want to just dial down to one thing, but you have a range of things. That's where I fall in personally. Or you just want to be someone who talks about a bunch of different things, so that can be grouped as lifestyle, which for me, that's what I consider myself, is a lifestyle creator who creates wellness content, talks about health and wellness, talks about faith-filled content, and overall just personal development. So I would definitely say that you need to know first your 3 content buckets if you want to start a YouTube channel. It's often something that is overlooked, and if you don't know why you're creating content, it's going to be easy to stop, start, stop, start. So you want to know exactly why you want to create content. You know your goals, but what do you want to bring value towards? A lot of times I feel like sometimes we may start a channel or start a TikTok or start an Instagram and think everyone's gonna love me. But at the end of the day, like, people are really just coming to understand how they can understand them better. Like, I don't think I ever watch a YouTube video where I am just like, I wanna watch it just because I wanna watch it. Now, there are some creatives that we like that we're like, oh, I'm locked in. The minute that they like and subscribe, wink, wink, nod, like, you know, shameless plug, you then just get invested into the type of information that the creative that you found delivers. I have a couple of them that I'm actually gonna link in the description below because I don't want to gatekeep my girlies. I love watching them when I'm on the treadmill, when it's hard for me to work out, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'll link them below if you need other creatives besides myself to watch as well. Your content buckets are super important is the point. So if you know that you have 3 things that you could talk about till the moon turns blue, find them and start there, even if they evolve over time. After you figure that out, commit to posting twice a week. Now, this video, I'm gonna specifically be talking about YouTube with sprinkles of like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram in there, but YouTube is the focus. I say twice a week because what I've noticed in the last 6 months that I've been posting, YouTube rewards consistency. It's not to say like, oh my gosh, I only post it once a week. YouTube's not gonna push my video out. You could post for a year straight and they not push your video out just simply because it's not, maybe like I mentioned before, not all about the algorithm, but it is somewhat, are you feeding into the algorithm? Are titles, like, we'll get into all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have to know, what is my video bringing value to, and how many times can people expect to see this value? It's almost like if you're in school, you're not gonna only show up to class once and take the test at the end of the week, but you only learned about one topic. It gave you nothing else, so why stay? You know what I mean? So you have to think about, when I'm creating these content pillars, whatever those 3 look like, so if they're separate from that, actually let's talk about it. I can talk about it best if I'm talking about myself. Lifestyle, I know that that can fall in anything. Travel, I can talk about how I work best. I can talk about, you know, what music I like, how that plays into my day. I can talk about faith-filled content. I'm a woman of God. And
thank you for giving idea for helping advice. Thank you very much, guy. I give like and subscribe. Today you are lucky. Let's go. Thank you. I get something today. What are people going to say about me? This live in mastering your creator mind. This wonderful video before you start posting it on my YouTube channel. I had the thought of people from my past since me and light the enemy kingdom of darkness can see who you can be, because if you are obvious God and they want to making sure that does it not happen. I am going to keep posting and keep mind. God gave me 2 prophetic dreams telling me to start. Okay, this my reading is not nice, but I'm sure you understand what I say. Content creator has a completely changed my life. Yeah, thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much for support. Appreciate, guy.